Can you make sure? Cool. Well, welcome everyone to the Milo Investigations panel. My name is Daniel Sains. My online alias is Who's Assassin. I am the gameplay and case designer as well as the team coordinator. And I also scriptwrite for the game project, My Little Investigations. It's kind of hard to see, but there's our logo. That's Objective Twilight. Here we go. All good? Awesome. So, I'm part of the game development team known as Equestrian Dreamers. We've been around since January of 2012. And this is our current team right now. These are all the veterans. I might as well just blow this up to slide form. So these are all the veterans here. So since it is kind of hard to see, I'll just kind of read them all. So GBG2, he is our creative head. He's the one that started this project way back in July 2011. He started the game on his birthday, and we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary not too long ago. So he and I were really best buds. I met him via the first YouTube video. I sent him an email, and we just hooked up. And just like that, a video game project 3 years in the making has been started. So that's me, Who's Assassin. We have our art director, Warpout, all the way from Belgium, and he's fantastic. He's also the same animator working on Lullaby for a Princess, which is coming out in the near future. Trop Pilgrim, he's a professional sound engineer, and he also composes a lot of music. So he also works for a lot of stuff in Boston, Drawn Con up there, likes to go to cons a lot. He was just at Brony Con as well. Fantastic person. That Canadian dude is a Canadian voice actor. He's voicing Twilight Sparkle in Case 2, which is known as Philo Reed. We'll show you in a bit. And that Canadian dude also did Rover in our first case, so one of the Diamond Dogs. Hellgazer is our dialogue artist, so the way that we go about doing work is that we start with a sketch, we choose our expression that we like, and then all the vector artists go in, line it, color it, animate the eyes and mouth, and boom, we have talking sprites for our game. Abigail 47 is another vector artist. Ponyton, animator. Princess Rail is our lead female VA. She voices Twilight Sparkle, still does. Love Kiku voices Rarity, which is returning for Case 2, Briefing, Pinkie Pie, Divinus Rose, and Artsy Feathers. These are all 14 returning vets, and because they work so well with me, I like to take this opportunity to give them a round of applause for all their hard work. So, congrats team. You're all awesome team. You're all watching the video. Love you guys. However, for Case 2, we do need more people as we're expanding the project. It is going to be at least twice as long as Case 1. So these are all our new members, our recruits. So we got a couple of artists. So Pero's our vector artist. Mega Man XH is our animator. Papoon is our cutscene artist. Chad TK is our new audio engineer because Extrab left. Kara Duena, she's the VA for Lyrica Lilac, just another character for the case. Laura the Wings, VA for Roy Woodman Spy, Carmen, Fluttershy Masquerade, and Chloe M. We have Celestia coming in Case 2. Icy Fire 888, she voices in Orange. The White Fire 28 does Uncle Orange. The Welsh Janitor does Gustave Legrand and Caesar, which is a background pony that we give a personality to. And the hero of Mobius. David and Light. So for these new recruits, they were chosen from a list of 100 or so people, so give a round of applause for them. For joining our team. They're awesome people. They started great work. And the 6 people who left our team from Case 1 and Case 2. Dawn Mew, she was the first one who came on our team, our 3rd member. She helped port the game from C++, I believe, to Java, and then from Java to C++, making it very compatible to everyone. So the game can be played on Linux and Windows and Mac because of the work that she has done. Jada was our Skrilla VA before she switched over to being a vector artist. Now because of her work in this project and the work that she's done in the project, she's up in Canada in a great animation school, so I'm proud of her. Rudder Core is our cutscene artist, so he was fantastic in getting all the cutscenes for the game. Extra engineer, handling thousands of lines, cutting them up. Fluttershy was the VA for the mayor, and Yale Pony VA for Fido and Spot. We had like 30 applicants for him, so for one of those male VAs to land 2 roles was spectacular. So just to give him a send off, one more round of applause, 46 alumni for the team. So, all right. So what is Milo Investigations? Milo Investigations is a game that uses gameplay features from the Ace Attorney series. So where we see this famous objection meme, that's where it came from. Ace Attorney investigations, mostly because of the field work. So it's not just point and click. You actually move Twilight in the field. You explore Equestrian, you gather clues, you go with witnesses. You take the villains down through a battle of wits. And this project, again, has been in the process of development for 3 years. We completed Case 1 April 9th of 2014. I'll go over a brief history in a bit. And to classify this game, it is a visual novel. So if you ever play games like Hotel Dusk or Professor Layton, it's sort of like in that sense, where, again, you go around, you gather evidence, you follow a very intricate storyline, you find some fun Easter eggs in there, but the more important thing is we want to make you feel that you're part of Equestrian. So the brief history down the line. August 2011 is when I joined the team, so not even a month has passed since I joined the team, so I've been pretty much with this project since forever. I'm also a mechanic. Well, I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree from UCF, December 2013, so balancing this on the side with my degree was a lot of hard work, so I'm glad I'm able to maintain this project as long as I have with the team. November 2011 is when we made our first port from XML to Java, and then eventually to C++. December 2011 is when the engine was done, and then we went ahead and recruited the team, which I'll go over into my tips at the end on how that process went. January 2012 is when the team was officially formed and officially named Equestrian Dreamers. So the reason behind that name, Equestrian, obviously for our love for My Little Pony. Dreamers, because I really idolize Walt Disney, the way he made his dreams come true here in Florida, here in California. He was a dreamer and doer, so I wanted to bring our dreams, bringing Equestria to the fans of the show and just the people who are curious about it to everyone. That was Gavin's vision as well. He saw potential with the gameplay from Ace Attorney, how well it melded its characters, how well the characters are from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, combine the two to create just a wonderful experience, which I will demo in a bit. So since some time passed, May 5th, 2012 was when we had our first gameplay demo. And let me tell you, after that day, we never decided to have a release date for anything again, unless we were absolutely sure, because we had to work our butts off. I had to sync lines for about 2 days straight, almost no sleep. But we did it. We did it somehow. That was the first showing at a public gathering of Bronies. August or October that year, we held an OC contest. Well, we will be holding another OC contest. Don't know when yet, but we will be holding one. So you can have your OC into our case with a joke, with animation, standing and field, and pretty much become part of the game. 3 winners were chosen out of 500, so it was a very popular contest. We're going to try and tweak the rules this time to make sure that we don't get so bombarded. One guy sent us like 34 OCs. None of them got it, but it was tough to narrow it down. Yeah, it's a lot of OCs. December 2012, second demo was released, just updates to the engine, cleaner stuff, show that, hey, we're still working on the game, give us time. July 2013 is when we had the panels at last year's GBG, so I was here back in Riverview. And then Gabu X, he was in Seattle for the Everfree Northwest Convention in 2013. That place was packed, everyone was hyped. That's when we had our release trailer as well, or at least a sneak peek at it. And so really fun times. October 2013, that was when development ended, all our assets were done, our script was done, everything was recorded. Now it's just a matter of just going and testing it. And testing was the hardest part because we realized there were some things that were missing. But the end product after 6 months of testing was worth it. Bugging, optimizing the engine, reducing RAM rates, a lot of stuff was went into testing. Finally, April 9th of this year was when we finished Case 1. Case 2 is well on its way. We are working hard on it. Script is still being written. Art assets have been started. Music assets have been started as well. So with our new VAs, we're also planning on doing a Meet the VAs 2 video, which is where we're just going to throw our VAs in the setting of Case 2, get to know them better. Because I can just tell you about their personalities all I want, but unless you see like how we write them, how you hear them. But yeah, I can accept questions a bit. That's where it started. So exactly since that first video where I met Gabu, it was been 2 years, 8 months, and 17 days since that video before we released the Case 1. Now, before I go demonstrate the game, are there any questions? Yeah, what's up?
What's a VA?
VA stands for voice actor, or voice actress.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so a lot of VAs. Excuse my jargon. All right, let's go ahead.
Hey Daniel, sorry to interrupt, but it looks like we have a projector VGA. If we move the laptop, we
Oh,
might be able to...
perfect time.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that.
Sorry to interrupt.
Seriously.
Funny enough, I didn't know you needed a new projector, and that was actually for the next panel. But
Mind blowing, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
I just so happened to come in with a video.
Yeah, that's fine, it's fine.
Anyways, here's the VGA.
So I can take more questions during this time we set up?
So is this game actually available right
Yes,
now?
right now.
For playing? Well, how do you buy it? Do you play it?
No, it's totally for free. And you
Download
can find
log,
it.
they said on any computer.
Yeah. And no, it's fine. It's www.equestriandreamers.com. That is our official website. Find a walkthrough, game downloads there. Yes.
Do you have a game board, or do you have an affiliation with Equestrian Gaming, Equestrian Gaming site?
I've submitted like stuff for review to them. We have an official review. We got an 8 out of 10, but I don't know them personally, so we don't have that sort of connection. We did have a connection with Philly Games, who worked on Welcome to Ponyville way back then. They were doing some sort of secret project. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. So, yeah.
I think a place to promote it as well, just be a lot more productive.
Yeah.
If they were going to accept you, they would link to your website on there, because that's where, essentially it's like the hub, I guess, for all the equestrian games, like everything from like the super fast ponies, and the equestrian, all those.
Yeah, I will definitely consider that. There's a lot of things you have to consider. I have more cases to announce. Yes. Case 1, on average, takes 3 to 5 hours, depending on how well you can go through our logical puzzles. If you follow the walkthrough to the T, like 2.5. But that's really not fun. Cool. All right.
Possibly.
It's kind of tilted.
Yeah, it is.
I guess I'll sit down for this. Just speak down. Any more questions? Anything personal? Game?
We're still
Yeah.
take a while to set up, so
Are you
yeah.
hiring writers?
We're not hiring writers right now. We just have 3 writers. Me and Gavin for the main stuff, and then Dad Canadian is also a writer. He does most of the side dialogue stuff. There's the cat.
Still something.
I'll come straight from my
I'll
computer.
adjust the keystone.
Well, this is our title screen.
Yeah, I gotta adjust the keystone. I guess, any more questions for him? Because this will take a bit.
Yeah, back there.
What's the website you can get this off of again?
www.equestriandreamers.com. Yes.
Is this like so much else in the Brony community, a voluntary project?
Yes. No, there's no salary to be gained here. We're just doing this because we love the series. We want to show that although we have great artists, great musicians, great story writers, we also have great game developers, and I believe we're one of the leading forces right now in the Brony gaming community, just having quality product like this. And I'm sure there are others. Like I'm rooting for Main 6 to finish their new version of Fighting Against Magic, which won't have My Little Pony characters, but I really do believe us, them, and a few others are headlighting this part of our community.
Well, it's awesome what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. Any more questions?
Is this okay?
It's good enough.
Weird.
Yeah.
Is there resolution?
Is it because it's at an angle, like on that table, versus like straight head?
Yeah, I like a power outlet that way, so this would be it.
Well, we're waiting to tilt it.
I think if I take the cap here, I might be able to, or if I get any other small object. I got an idea.
That's fine.
More questions? Sorry for the waiter.
Any more questions? Like, I'm an open guy.
So you're working on your second case, right?
Yes.
What's your long vision for this? Just keep doing like a case every 6 months?
Yes.
Or...
Well, not that often, but
Okay.
we do have 4 cases lined up. 2 that's already being worked on, and 2 others that we have the core ideas down. We're still debating on how long case 4 is going to be, whether we're going to have to split it in 2, if it's going to be that big and epic. It's our finale, so obviously it has to be our big one.
Finale?
Yeah, because the Ace Attorney games have usually 45 cases. So usually they have an easy starter case, a very, thought-provoking second one,
Oh,
a
that's
complex
not
third
funny.
one,
No.
and then the 4th one is our grand finale of things. Yeah?
So that's a group of cases?
Yes.
Does that mean then you will stop forever, or then you'll work on your next group of
Next project, or maybe more cases down the line, depending on how motivated we are. But speaking of that, like we intend for this game engine to last for a while because we are working on a case creator. So you're able to implement script and audio and music and anything you want for the case and make it look as good as this. You can do it as a fan.
Oh, so fans can make cases.
We're working on it. Yeah.
And then put it up there like fan fiction only. Fan
Exactly.
fiction.
So see this little tab? Oh.
Interesting.
This is official cases, so this is for our work. Sooner or later, we're going to have fan cases down here once we have the case creator. So then you'll just flip through a book. And when you do complete a case in classic Ace Attorney style, I know not many of you are aware of the project, but you do get a nice compilation picture.
Hey,
Giving
hey,
you-
read the text. In the book.
Huh?
Oh, too small. Maybe he needs to read it to us since he hasn't.
Okay, well, the premise of this first case, so y'all know, is when Scootaloo gets accidentally accused of a big gem heist, it's up to newly minted detective Twilight Sparkle to get to the bottom of the case. Simple premise, gem theft. So involving all these characters here. And I'm gonna go ahead and demo the game right now.
Okay.
So everything in this game that you see here is custom made, so we don't borrow any assets, we just borrow the ideas. Yeah?
Okay, so it is point click. Is it point click or is it just
Yeah.
point click.
It is point and click, but you can move her around. Like you click on this page on the screen, she walks there. You can click and hold, she moves around. You double click,
Aw,
you can gallop around.
cute. And it's all, nobody bothers you with copyright because it's all free online?
Yeah, it's free. Hasbro hasn't really. Like, I don't know what their plans are, but we've played low key enough to that they won't bother us. We've released the big trailer and everything. We haven't gotten any flack from that, so we should be fine.
You're too low key, I didn't know you were up.
Yeah. I mean, after what happened finding this matching other projects, like we decided that only release stuff when we're ready to release, only release promotional stuff at the right times, and this is how we're able to get now nearly, I think, like 20 or so, 15 to 20,000 downloads. I have to double check the number. So a lot of people have downloaded this game around the world already. So the way the gameplay works, there's two modes of gameplay. One, you walk around the field, you can examine things like these lovely purple bushes. There's voice acting involved. So the game is fully voice acted. But you can examine like the window, the boutique, or even terminals.
Well, it doesn't take sharp eye to see that these are tire marks. And it doesn't take a sharp wit to figure out that whoever was here probably was the cause of the stroke's window, too.
Evidence update.
Is there anything else here? Is this hair? How's it going, Twilight? Pinky, where do you keep coming from? Oh, silly. That's not important. What is important is what you discovered there. It's hair. It's not just hair. What? Is it clue? Do you know what every super duperific investigator does with clues? Do tell. These are big, great figure out the battle report. Please, what she has me read the walkthrough.
So she's a tutorial character in this case. She does a lot of fourth wall breaking, but that was all intentional. Let's skip ahead for a bit. And what she's referring to is our evidence combination system. So the way we can implement puzzles outside of cross-examinations or confrontations is in the evidence itself. So not all the evidence you get is going to be pretty solid, so you have to combine them to make logical sense. So we have tire marks, we have hair, we can probably deduce something from these two items. So let's go ahead and do that.
This hair is from some animal, then it would naturally follow that the rider probably swerved here to avoid hitting it, explaining why that pony went towards the window. Except, what animal was it? A pony, perhaps?
So that's pretty much field investigation though. You can also switch screens following this arrow. So you can see the map world's pretty big. In the standard Ace Attorney games, it's mostly screen by screen. In investigation spin-offs, you can walk around crime scenes and make it feel more interactive.
It's a realistic water. You can hear it as you get closer.
Yeah, we also had dynamic audio here, so the closer you get to like a flag waving or water moving, we have an algorithm there that increases the volume so it feels more realistic. So there's a lot of polish that goes into this game outside of just looking good and sounding good. Second mode is our character interaction mode, so we can find all the evidence we want, but unless we talk to ponies or witnesses, we're not going to get anywhere. So let's hear what Verity has to say about last night.
What would you like to know? Could you describe exactly what happened and what you saw? Well, I'm afraid there isn't much to tell. I was sleeping in my bedroom when suddenly I heard a shrill crash from downstairs. I went downstairs to investigate it, and what did I find when my house water for 2 different accents? My prized jewel gone, and my beloved awful glasses missing as well. Oh no, help is coming soon. Perhaps I should ask more specifically what was said. Everything there is to speak of? You saw nothing else at all? No, not really. Some sort of telling. That sounded oddly suspicious. Very? Are you hiding something?
She is, but I'm not going to let you guys explain it. So what she's going to explain is that sometimes they'll be so stubborn that they won't even talk to you about it. That's why there's a little lock here. When you go gather evidence in the field, this is what makes it challenging, is you may not have everything you need to write this log. So it's like the Cyclops system in Ace Attorney where they're hiding, talking about a specific topic for whatever reason. In this case, he's trying to protect a certain pony from being seen at the crime scene. So unless you have a piece of evidence, you won't talk. But sometimes you'll have more questions pop up. They'll give you evidence, they'll update evidence. You can also present evidence to them. So you can either get stuff related to the case, not related to the case, or something silly. Like if you present her her own picture, this is what she says.
Gala picked you up such a dazzling pony. On second thought, never mind.
So stuff like that. So this is the basic part of gameplay, but obviously when we're accusing someone of a crime or of suspicious, we have to confront them. So using our save load feature, I'm going to skip ahead to our first confrontation of this case, which is against Sulu. She's hiding something, and I intend to find out what.
So, about the noise in the clubhouse. I don't suppose I could go in and have a look. Outlaw, help me out here.
Yeah?
All the languages Greek, yeah.
All the languages what?
All the languages Greek, yeah. You don't enter any of your own questions.
No. It's all, you read what they say and you react. That would be really hard to design if we had to consider all the options. Like old school. I know what you're talking about, that's like old school point and click, where you're like in a mysterious room, it's like look around, touch this, use this, stab vampire, whatever. I don't know how they did it back then, and I really respect them, but for our sake and simplicity, we decided to keep it very linear. So let's go inside the clubhouse.
Why don't you not to let any little crusaders in here? Oh, don't you worry about that, Sulu. I've been glad you're an honorary crusader for today. What? That's not something you just do in your own. Oh, what you better you're reading. It's worth something? She did it. Really? Yes, I did. Oh,
Yeah, that's because we put that in because you can play without the voices. So to help people, get the sense of what's going on. If we have giggling, cackling, or just snorting or whatever. That's also common in Ace Attorney games because that's not voice acted. So we decided to keep fishing and have onomatopoeia in there. And just vocal keys. So yes, it is kind of silly when everything's voice acted, but there are some people who don't like our version of the voice acting. Even though I
can't hear it at all.
Where last night? I don't know what you're talking about, Twilight. Oh, I think you do, Skula. I've already talked to Apple about something. Apple? What did you say, Twilight? I know that you three were around town square. So perhaps we should start there.
there's gonna be a tutorial after this. Let's get hard. Anyway. Battle of Wits time. Let's do it. How this works.
It was supposed to be a secret. But yeah, we've been working on a comedy routine for everybody's birthday. And we already heard that one from Apple Black.
So you see two numbers here. Top left, this is you, the player's credibility. Every time you present wrong or relevant evidence, your credibility goes down. If it goes down to 0, you get a game over and have to try again from the very beginning. Not the case, just of this scene. That would be really unfair if it was the whole case. And on the right-hand side, this is her resistance. You get that to 0, you clear the confrontation, she can spell something pretty major. This is where our most dramatic moments of the case happen. So she's hiding something from us, but sometimes the answer's not that clear. In order to get weaker statements or something from them, we have to press them for information.
That's what happened when you started. What happened after you started? Were you just working on a routine? Nothing else? Can't see much activity so far, at least. Alright. Do you think you could tell me what you didn't do? After we got started, we got into our routine pretty heavily. And we were working on it nonstop until we called it a night.
Here's where she's lying because Apple Bloom mentioned in an earlier testimony, which you'll see when you're playing the case, that they took a break from practicing.
Not entirely nonstop, I'm afraid. Huh? I happen to know that you three took a break part of the way through your practice session. And I also happen to know that neither Apple nor Sweetie knew where you were during that time. What about it? Maybe you did take a break and I went out somewhere else. What about it? Doesn't mean anything. You know where I was.
But we do. Sometimes they'll grill you outside of a loop in a confrontation, so you're required to present evidence. You can also not save during a confrontation because that would just make things too easy. So, when she presented a question, you have to answer. And in this case, we do know where she was. She was at the boutique, at the crime scene, making her prime suspect.
Come on, Twilight! That points to me! Listen to yourself! I jumped through a window to break it? I mean, that's gonna hurt! Not to mention make a lot of noise! And why in the world would I steal anything from some pony whose sister I'm friends with? That makes no sense! All you got is circumstantial evidence!
I don't know whether to be annoyed by her stubbornness or impressed by the fact that she correctly used the phrase circumstantial evidence in a sentence. Stay cool, Twilight. You already know what you need here. You just need to find ways to prove it to her.
Honestly, Twilight, I can't believe this! You're accusing me of stealing from my best friend's sister? Who's gotten into you?
Also, sometimes we gotta do dirty work. We gotta do dirty work as an investigator. So
Give me what
this is
the
why we're
fuck
doing
I
this.
steal from her. No, not even just from her. Or any pony.
And as you can see, we're back into the loot process. And you have to keep chipping away at our health, so more statements, more things to press against. They're longer than a standard interrogation questing session. So we do know a reason why she would possibly steal, even though we don't want to assume she's actually the culprit just yet. We're just trying to grill her for whatever she's hiding.
I can, in fact, provide a motive for why you'd want to steal Rarity's prize jewel. Scoodaloo, I know that a short while ago, Rainbow Dash gave you a very special ribbon of hers and told you a few choice words. Among those, however, was the instruction that you should do something very daring for you and your friends. I trust you know where I'm going with this. If you really did do a bold heist to Rarity's boutique in the middle of the night to steal her most precious jewel, that would certainly be awfully daring.
What? No, Twilight, no! You got it all wrong. The check wasn't it at all. After she said that, I started practicing scooter tricks. Not them. Stealing things from ponies is so uncool, Twilight. I never. You remember those tricks that Rainbow Dash did at the Festival Flyer competition, right? I had to try one of those out. Of course I can't fly, so I kind of have to make do with what I can do. But cross it out, right? So awesome! Well, not as awesome as the Sonic Rainbow, of course, but I figured, maybe I'd work up to that. The carousel boutique's nice and round, so I can practice going around it at top speed.
Alright, so since I'm kind of short on time, the point is here that even during a major section like a confrontation, you can still get new evidence to present in this whole loop. So you need to be very, you gotta pay close attention to whatever you have, yeah?
Just a quick question. How would Scoodaloo know what Rainbow Dash did during the Best Flyers competition since she can't fly up to Cloudsdale to even see it?
Well, Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo are pretty close buddies, so I'm sure she would have asked her about that. Or Rainbow Dash just being her boastful self, like, one time when I was in Philly, damn. Or what happened recently. There's a lot of plausible explanations, but
But she probably saw it when she was down on the ground.
yeah, there's some reasons, but we try to incorporate as much canon as we can to our stories. Sometimes we have to deviate, which I'll get to an issue in case 2. Like, Twilight's still a unicorn in this case because we did this 3 years ago. She will still be a unicorn in case 2 for Philo Reed's introduction because it wouldn't make sense if he was giving her a hard time when she's a princess. But whether Princess comes, that's in debate for cases 3, 4, possibly 5, but that's pretty much it for now. There's one more thing about confrontation, about the game I want to show you. Just need to exit out. And that is our partner system. Confrontations are a thing that we did kind of unique to our game because to make things harder, you can have 2 topics to handle at the same time instead of just 1. So it makes it like a logical maze. And then this part of it is where we introduce our partner system. Completely original, completely awesome. And what this allows you to do is recruit the help of your friends or whoever you meet in the case. Because the theme of the show is Friendship is Magic. She can't do everything by herself.
Rarity, did you clean up the boutique?
Why, yes, darling. It was a dreadful, awful mess. Just a few more bits and pieces to put in order, and it'll be good as new.
Dad, it's a crime scene.
I know. Wasn't it terrible? It's taken me all morning to get it back to that working condition.
Rarity, you don't just clean up a crime scene. You need to leave the mess is so we can find evidence implicating the culprit.
Oh, no. I suppose that would make sense.
Ugh, forget it. Let's see if there's anything of note left.
As you can see, crime is not exactly a common theme in Equestria, so that was one of the challenges we had writing. Just to make it, a genuine reaction as possible. It's like, oh, a crime scene. My boutique's dirty, let me just clean it up. So little things like that is what we pride ourselves on, so we make it feel as real, but as unique as possible.
This stool was like this.
Anyway, she examines the stool, and we get a partner ability. Boom, our partner ability. You can click on this tab to see what they do, and there's 2 types. First is passive. The passive ability is things you don't have to actively use. So let's say you have a stubborn pony who refuse to talk to Twilight for whatever reason, like they're too angry at her, or too shy, or whatever. When you have a partner right next to you and there's a line there, they'll just unlock and you can just talk with them right then and there. Now, the active ability, this is something you can use in the field or in a confrontation. So you can either press someone really hard and be really stubborn, or you can search for hidden evidence in the field. So for rarity, taken from the gem finding spell from a dog and pony show, you can use her spell as a metal detector in a way. So over here, there's nothing to find, but the closer you get into an item, the stronger it gets. That's a glitch. So we found glass, and this is the evidence we're going to find really into the case, and it zooms in. So combining these two elements of partner abilities and our confrontation system, I feel like our game definitely has potential to really expand, really change the way we look at visual novel types of games, while also introducing others who are not familiar with this universe to them, and also get people who are familiar with this universe into the type of games that I love, because sharing our passions is what I love to do. Yeah?
Do you think it's possible to create cases in the Equestrian Girls universe, being on the other side of the mirror?
Sure, just change the art. You can add any art asset you want.
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be ponies. It just has to be fits in a certain dimension. Yeah?
Are you going to open up the game to allow users to be able to create custom cases?
Yes, with our case creator. So you're not going to affect our progress, but we're going to give you an engine that's easy to use, like insert text, insert pause if you want to sync it up, insert audio, whatever. So, because when you think about it, anytime you write for a program or script, it's just a long list of commands. So we just streamline that process for you. So instead of typing out, run script X and understanding all that technical jargon, it's just click the button, insert text, write whatever you want for the character to say, move on to the next thing, and then you add your art assets, and we streamline it for you so you can make any case. Yeah?
But what if you don't have art assets, which is to say you can only do the writing?
We'll make our assets open sourced.
So, right, but so you'll be able to write the case using your art.
Yeah, but you can make your own.
Okay.
And put them in there.
All right, we've never played the original Ace game. Which one game would you recommend for us to do the Ace before launching into yours so that we have a clue of
If you want to get a good feel of the style, I definitely recommend playing these Attorney games. There's a trilogy you can get on the Wii, and it's also on your Android and iPhone. There's a full collection there. I recommend starting with those games. You can also get Dual Destinies. It's really user-friendly, because the old games are pretty hard and you might get frustrated, but Dual Destinies for the 3DS is also a great entry point. That's digital only, though.
I thought Dual Destinies was a crossover with something I also don't play.
No, it's part of the same universe. Ace Attorney.
But I would say the Ace trilogy on the Wii would be a good.
Yes.
Just a DS program.
Because you want to play these games chronologically, because it's one big massive story that you're telling over a span of games. And if you play one game ahead of the other, it's going to be really spoilerish. You won't really get the quirks of a character. So I recommend you play them in order. But if you just want to get a feel for what it's like, play Dual Destinies first, and then you can play all the juicy backstory leading up to that on your own time. That's just my recommendation.
Dual Destinies.
Anyway, I just have a couple tips on how you can get started just being a game dev in general. Like I said, I come from an engineering background, but it wouldn't really serve anyone justice if I didn't share my experience with all of you. So how can you get started? I have 7 tips for you. First, study your own skill set. Before you go to any project, game development, writing long fan fiction, whatever, know what you're good at. Know what you're good at, work to your strengths. Work to your strengths, because otherwise you can get frustrated. What can you contribute? It can be anything. If you can find organization and direction, be a producer. If you like to script write, be a writer for someone. If you like to, compose music or make good artwork in any sense, animations, flash, even just backgrounds, there's a place for you in this industry. There's a place for anyone. Programmers, even the business side of it, if you want to go that route. But study your own skill set, know what you're good at, and then go from there. Now, 2 is an optional thing. I found a partner that I really respect, and he helped me, get all the technical aspects down. He's the one who created the engine. I just help provide direction, motivation, organization, and good ideas that we can build upon. But this person should help make up for what you're not so good at, so you can complement each other and be a really well-oiled machine. So again, it's just personal preference. There's been some successful indie game developers who work on everything on their own, like Braid or indie games like that. 3, be firm in your creative direction from the get-go. Just like with any project, set your standards, set your goals, set your ideas, but don't deviate too much from the path. Otherwise, it's just going to be a completely incoherent mess when you're finished with it. So no flip-flopping on the core ideas. Stay what you want to do. 4, develop the game engine and experiment at the stage of development. So if you have any wacky ideas you want to try out before you get into the meat of development, do it now at this phase. It's easier to fix core problems at that phase and other phases. And also stick with what you know. If you like ponies, don't try and make a game. Or actually, I'm afraid to say, if you like platformers, don't try and make a game that's like a shooter, because you're not that aware of how shooters work and how the balance system works. Stick with what you love and know in terms of gaming or the universe, so you can nail it and feel good about yourself. And when you're ready to tackle new things, you're able to go get them. So my 5th tip is set up a pitch, because once you have your ideas and the engine down, set up a pitch for potential recruits and get what you need. So for in our case, we needed voice actors and artists and sound engineers just to make our game run and make all the assets for the game. And you want to pitch your ideas so well so you get a lot of applicants. And you don't want to be too picky, but don't be afraid to be picky at the same time. Like, you can't take everyone on your team, because then it's hard to allocate work, but you can't be too picky with it, trying to find the one gold nugget, because you'll never find it. You possibly could, but the chances are it's very, very slim to find the one perfect person you can work with. You got to compromise. There has to be some leeway there. We had over 100 applicants for voice actors. We only ended up with like 9 or so. So we had to trim it down a lot. 6, continue to motivate your team. It's easy to get started. It's hard to finish. Finishing is what defines legends, basically, not just starting them. I know when I took a core values exam, which is just determines your own core values, like it told me that I'm a great starter but not a finisher. This is why I had Gabby on my team to help me push along. But I learned from him. And whenever things got rough, whenever assignments weren't turned in, whenever there's confusion or confliction on an idea, or for a promotional video or whatever, or decision, it got rough. But we always pulled through, even with the extended delays, and I was confident the whole way through. I kept up that optimism, that motivation going forward. 7, most importantly, when you get done with your game and you have to test it to get rid of all those nasty bugs, never, ever rush the testing process. We've seen so many examples in the industry today where rush games are just bad. And as I think Miyamoto said this.
Sonic 06?
Yeah. Sonic 06, Duke Nukem Forever, whatever. I think Miyamoto or some Nintendo higher-up said this once: bad games are bad forever. Good games are remembered for a long time. And that's certainly true. I'd rather take the extra couple months to debug a game, to work on any logical issues, than to just release a piece of crap just saying, here, I finished a long project. So what? Anyone can spend a lot of time on something. Not everyone can spend a lot of quality time on something, making something of work. And that's what separates, the wheat from the chaff, the good from the bad. And just with the 7 tips, that's my OC Zeus up there. Just with the 7 tips, I believe anyone can be a game developer of some sort, or just work in the industry. It's really fun. It's really uplifting for me. It's what I like to do when I'm still looking for work in the engineering field, but I still love doing what I do. So before I close, I have about 10 minutes for questions. So hit me up. Yeah.
Now I have 2 questions.
Sure.
My first question is, now obviously working with Equestrian Dreamers, you have a unique view of designing video games, which is similar to designing mods for video games. And I know there's a number of people in this room who like playing video games, so therefore making video games should be somewhat fun too. But obviously you've seen the darker side of that. So my first question is, when forming a game design, a video game designing team, what are a couple of positions do you think are important? Because I know a lot of people have like, oh, I have this really awesome idea for a game, but they might need some help executing it. So what do you think some positions that might be important? Perhaps managerial position?
Yeah, learn how to manage your time. Learn how to set goals. Those are the two biggest things for anyone's success if you want to go into the game industry. Because if you set good goals that you can reach, then you know you become successful when you meet them. It's not just, if I try and do this, you need to go. No, it has to be a very direct approach with confidence. Like, I know I want to do this. I want to make this happen, and I know I will make this happen, and I will surround myself with the right people to do it. Circle of influence. It's a big thing. Surround yourself with really negative people, you'll be a negative person. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting people, you'll be a positive, successful person. Second question?
Yeah. Oh, and my second question, you had mentioned you're, I guess I would say one of the few minority Brony game designers, because the way it works is when you go on Equestrian Daily or a Brony meetup, everyone's like, oh, I paint, oh, I draw, ooh, I cosplay, ooh, I write fanfics, ooh, and I'm a Brony musician, ooh, and, you know, you're in the corner and you say, I program with C++, and everyone's like, oh. Do you think that'll change in the future where other Brony game designers, such as yourself, will get more of the ooh-ah factor when you're surrounded by you know, all the artists and musicians and cosplayers? Do you think that might change in the future?
I think it's already starting to change. Like, I'm seeing more good games pop up on Equestrian Gaming. Like, the Pony Platforming Project is one of my faves, and I love the art with the correction they go with that. And obviously, Fighting Is Magic is still going. They didn't let what happened to them go down, and when they become successful, because I really believe in that team, that's really going to help the image of the Brony gaming community. That even through a tough time like a C&D, they still prospered and they still made up a great game. And I feel like we're also, again, at the front end of that with our game, with our product, we can help promote the gaming industry, especially in the Brony community. Because I agree, it's not as popular as the other facets, but that doesn't bother me. I still do what I love. I know that after enough, good games and good time, this will change, just like with any phenomenon, I think. So, yes, question.
I have a question about the lore, but it's about the end. I've actually already finished this case when it first came out. And the question I have is about the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah.
Just what is the explanation for how they became so savvy in their legal jargon?
Well, the way we explained it, at least from what I remember from the script, is that ponies and diamond dogs, they met before all this happened, and they came to an agreement, especially after Rarity kidnapping. Basically, you abide by our laws, and we will just leave you alone to just hunt for gems without forcing ponies into pretty much indentured servitude, slavery. So, dogs, we just wanted to make it very humorous, because a lot of the show's humor derives from expecting the unexpected. What do you expect happening? Like, there's some themes in the show that are kind of dark when you think about it. Like, or it could be when you do think about it. I'm just trying to think of a couple of examples. But
Slavery, King Sombra?
Yeah, slavery, King Sombra. Or just jealousy, driving someone to pretty much become a dictator in the world, like with Panther and Moon. Or just love-sucking individuals. Like, draining the love out of somebody isn't exactly a pleasant experience with the changelings and queen changelings. So we just wanted to, and especially in the cute universe of ponies, like, who expects that sort of thing? So the Diamond Dogs, we just decided to make them smarter than they are, but they're still pretty dumb because they do say some dumb things, which gets them in trouble with Twilight when she interrogates them.
I'm just curious, like, how did they learn all that? Like,
Who taught them?
Magic.
They taught themselves. They absorb a lot of things, but they also forget a lot of things. They're a lot of selective memory for them, I think. But great question, right? Great question. Yeah?
Are you looking for beta testers?
We will open that when we get to that phase of development, but we're still in developing on the assets, so no, not right now. Yeah?
One last question that I have. Are you making a second case?
Yes. I was actually going to show you some assets of that right now. So, just walking through some things. Alright, so this is like we start with like a bunch of concept arts, so like, cutie marks. positions for our rival character in this case. His name is Philo Reed. He may seem pretty serious, but he's actually pretty laid back. Think of like Dr. House, if you ever watched that series. House MD in a way. Yeah. Taking damage. A lot of cool things you'll see with him. Also some of the background going on. So this is Carnegie Hall. Yes, Carnegie Hall. So this will be like one of the settings for case 2. Because we showed the lobby of Carnegie Hall on Equestrian Dreamers during our reveal, but this is basically what it looks like. It's straight from Brony Takes Manhattan with our take on it. And we also have some music for it, just so you get a good feel of it. That way you see in the middle is our official cover art for our soundtrack for Case 1. It's kind of hard to see, but that's what it is. So it should give you a good feel of what to expect for Case 2. Totally different style. We're not in Ponyville anymore. We're in a totally different location. And with that, I think that's all the assets I can't show you. Well, there's probably one more, but I need access to the internet for that because that's online. It's basically just Applejack running around. Since she's in the next case, she'll be running around, doing her thing, following Twilight. And yeah, any more last minute questions? I got a couple minutes left. Yes.
Sorry, this is my last question.
Go ahead.
You said we would be able to create custom cases.
Yes.
Will there be a system in place where we can like upload the case for other people to be able to download?
Yeah.
You're late.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had the website to show you, but under our downloads page, it'll have like the files for you to download the whole case. It has an updater in there. So every time that we get a case submission from someone, we'll just upload it, and then it'll just automatically download to everyone who has the client already, as long as they have access to the internet. So we're trying to make it so when the fan case happens, there'll be no need to just search for it on some random site. It'll just be, open my investigations. We'll announce it. Boom. You have a case downloaded in about 5-10 minutes with good internet.
Could we have like rankings and like comments on the cases too? Like a ranking system, like this.
Sure. I don't see why not. I appreciate feedback. Feedback's extremely important. We'll probably have comments like, rate this case, rate our case, or something. But as far as feedback, that's a nice thing to end on. The case has been pretty much love for everyone else. We got I think a 9 out of 10 on Equestria Daily and like an 8 out of 10 on Equestria Gaming. Like we know of our flaws sometimes, like we're trying to work them out, but mostly positive feedback. People love the voice acting, our artwork, our humor, and we can only just go up from here. To set the bar, we intend to exceed that bar with Case 2. Thank you so much for joining me on this panel for Equestrian Dreamers. So have a great day of the rest of the con. Pleasure seeing you all. Name's Daniel Saints, aka Zeus Assassin. So if you want to speak afterwards, let me know. I'm open.
Good work, and we'll be checking it out for sure.
All right, awesome.
Right after we check out Ace.